Alright, let's take a look at the decks. This is match 6, elimination between House of Lords and Black Spikes. On the House of Lords side, we've got dual Kodiak 3s, Warhammer 6R Timberwolf, the Hunchback 2CA energy variant, Jenner 2CA energy, and an Oxide. Against BSMC running Black Widow 6R, dual Kodiak 3s, 2 Enforcers, Jenner 2CA, and a Jenner 2C. Let's do it. So Enforcers, 2 of them. We'll have to see whether they can use those things effectively. Yeah. Is it still left-handed peak?
I thought the Enforcer 5P was the DACA Enforcer.
I suppose with the Black Widow on the field, it could be. I mean, they could be running like a DACA Rush. I don't have Enforcers. I'm not a mech encyclopedia.
I do, but it's the R, the energy variant that I like.
Gotcha. Wow, they've got these guys starting far off near Kappa right now. Warhammer 6R with PPC Ultra AC5s, Timber with Gauss Large Pulse, Gauss ERPPC, UAC. This is all coming out of Lords with main body down near Kappa. It'll be interesting to see where they set up. Alpha Lance right off the bat, 4 Black Spikes. Looks like they're going to charge straight in. Are they going to catch the Hunchback out? Chimp Raider all on his own over here. I think he's not going to peek that again if he knows what's good for him. So hard push from Black Spikes, Alpha Lance heading across open terrain. They might get some shots in on him. No, maybe not. They got some cover there. But here comes those Enforcer, 2 Ultra AC5s for both of those Enforcers.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Are they in the arms?
They're not necessarily a side, yeah, they're arm peaks, and they're not side peaks.
Yeah, they're both 1 in each arm. That's a pretty slick looking mech there.
And here comes Lords charging up to stage with those Kodiaks, but they're a little strung out right now.
Well, those Enforcers are going to be the first thing that has... Oh, wow, they're cutting left. They're like, nope. That was the biggest nope I've ever seen. And Phoenix Fire just getting wailed on right now, just trying to get out of there, giving his team the opportunity to get in and get some work done.
Gas in the Kodiak took a pounding as well.
We have a little bit of a bottleneck here, but they're finally getting in there. It looks like a light Leon is coming in with the back cores on Elysium right now. But they did score the first kill on Cafe. Those lights are in the backfield doing some work, but they've got their own lights coming in, getting fracked the system down. 2 down for Lords right off the bat. Whoop-Tech is the 3rd to go down. They are focus firing incredibly well. Regulus goes down. And so that's 4 right off the bat in this brawl charge. Dogmeat right in the mix of things with that Oxide. He slips away. Looks like he gets away with it, but Xander Peach
goes
now.
Down.
They've got Chimp Raider and the Hunchback and 2 lights. This is
for Black Spikes.
Incredible.
I'm not sure what Lords was doing there. They came right up the choke point. They knew where Black Spikes was coming from, and they walked right through a choke point into him.
That is insane. I don't know if it was just a mistiming or what, but
yeah, either poor timing or
they came up single file. They
but,
came up single file right into the middle of that DACA storm. Maybe they thought Black Spikes would just continue around the corner or something, but they cut right along stage and just got the job done. Fantastic.
I mean, that was a
damage
2-minute, 7-second match.
Goodness gracious. 554 coming out of that Black Widow. Elysium was getting hit in the back, but even still, after all that twisting, pulling 510 damage, just Leon alone wasn't going to be able to do enough damage to just keep BSMC occupied. It was a good effort by Leon. You got to give him credit. Pulling 268 damage, but the rest of his team just not able to get the work done. I think Cafe was the lead mech coming up that ramp, getting those initial hits on that Enforcer. 288, but got shredded down, and the rest of his team behind him weren't able to bring their weapons to bear right away, and just got knocked out one at a time through that just an impressive amount of firepower coming out of Black Spikes. So Black Spikes takes drop 1 in a surprisingly effective DACA Brawl Rush.
I really think that was surprisingly effective, but I also think Lords played right into their hands. I'm not, like you said, I'm not sure what the what the plan was there, but it obviously did not work, whatever it was. And we'll have to see whether they can bounce back. They did select Team 2. So we'll see. Maybe they've got a better strategy for the other side of Tourmaline.
Awesome. Wow, we broke 700 viewers right now. We're up to 723. That's pretty damn impressive. So what side are these teams going to be on this time?
Black Spikes is going to start on Team 1, House of Lords Team 2, opposite sides from the last match.
Man, that match was so quick, my replay hasn't even caught up yet. I suppose I should do a giveaway. Let's do that real quick.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. So Lords is going to have to figure out what the hell just happened there, because that was a very fast, definitive win by BSMC. If they let that happen again, they're out of the regional finals. Something did not go right there.
Yeah, absolutely not. And like you said, they've got to figure it out fast, whatever it was.
The winner is Battle Bunny. I think everyone knows who Battle Bunny is from BMMU. Congratulations, you are the winner of the mech pack. Send Bandit B17 a whisper with your in-game name and the mech pack that you would like. Congratulations. Let's watch that replay while we get these teams readied up. So the initial push, Alpha Lance into that one hunchback. He gets one shot downfield. I don't think he necessarily took much, but that's all the information you need. You see Black Spikes coming around that corner fast as hell. That should be everything you want, but if you look, you can see this House of Lords group, they're approaching stage, and I don't know if they were going to try and wrestle away a position from Black Spikes, but Black Spikes just beat them to it. Straight up. Like, I was actually surprised at how fast this fight went down. I expected Lords to have a firing line set up somewhere, and it just never happened. So I look up, and it's like, holy crap, the fight's already starting. Here's Cafe coming right up the top, getting some hits on the light. Maybe it was the Enforcers, but even still, the Enforcers seemed like they were a little bit caught out.
And they had the House of Lords had that hunchback still on stage. They should have known that they were pushing up straight into Black Spikes, but poor execution by House of Lords, getting stuck in the choke point. Just like we said, didn't work out. They're gonna have to figure something out for this next drop.
Just the focus fire was on point for Black Spikes, just nailing everything they went for, and then they got their lights in there deep. That Enforcer 4P face hugging that Warhammer 6R, and with the help of the light taking him down. But a little bit of just losing the unit leaders, Skate Knock, everybody else staying really in good shape here, and then just having to deal with the remaining medium and 2 lights. Easy cleanup at that point. But well played, Black Spikes. Fantastic. Let's get in there and see any big changes to the decks. I'm not seeing Enforcers anymore.
I don't see the Enforcers. They're going with the Hunchback 2Cs. Probably expecting Lords to trade now.
Lords does have the ballistic variant of Hunchback in there, pairing it with Warhammer 6R. Can't really read it based on the deck exactly.
Yeah.
They do have the Oxide in there, but let's go in and take a look. Really depends on the build out of that 6R. I mean, either way, the 6R is going to have a little bit of reach to them. So they might have gone like half DACA, half poke or something like that, but being ready for everything can get you in trouble in this game. Sometimes you have to roll the dice and go specialized on something, and then play to the strengths of that deck. Take a look here. ERPPCs, large pulse. They've got the Black Widow, which says DACA, 4 AC5s, PPC Ultra AC5s, Gauss PPC, and an Ultra. They have a mixed deck of ballistics and reach with those PPCs. Up against Lords, Regulus right off the bat with PPCs, trading from Alpha Lance. Wook Tech in the Kodiak 3, Gauss PPC. Ultra AC2 PPC coming out of Cafe. I think we've seen that once before from them.
Yeah, he ran that on the day 1 of EU.
The EMP special Ultra AC2s from Chimp Raider up on the Spire. So, looks like Lords is going to play a little bit more of the long-range game. Goss, Large Pulse.
I think this is more suited to their playstyle.
So what is the answer going to be from Black Spikes with their mixed deck? Theta goes in favor of Black Spikes, so a good initial cap, getting the tickets rolling in their favor. Getting that initial Theta cap is big because it's a hell of a lot harder to flip it back when you're under fire. Look at this setup for Black Spikes. Do you see this? They're waiting for it.
Yeah, they are just hanging back.
I mean, I guess why peek? You know, we keep talking about this where it's like, okay, play the cap game and then stop peeking so much. But like, this is taking it to a new extreme. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna allow Lords to kind of fan out. Maybe this means they can catch somebody on their own and catch them in transition. Maybe they're hoping for a gank in that regards, or maybe they're just waiting for Theta. Theta is almost fully capped, so they could probably get up there and stop the cap, either with airstrikes or something. But Lords is just waiting. They're just gonna let the tickets bleed away. They have Sigma now, so it's a 1-1 cap, but they sent their light off to Gamma now. Looks like somebody's gonna sneak Epsilon. They've got Regulus over there in that Hunchback. I don't know if he's going to go as far as Epsilon or not. But you can tell he's just looking around. They're like, where the hell is Black Spikes? What the hell? Where are they?
Yeah, they've got to be confused right now.
But they're looking. They're trying to find him. They do have a strike coming in. I think it's going to fall short. Man, if I was Lords, I'd be confused as hell too. But it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. They're actually pulling these Kodaks out now, flipping them back around. They're going to lose Epsilon in a minute here. They still have a ticket advantage, though. But it looks like they've got a Jenner 2CA going to probe Epsilon, or at least heading in that direction. This is definitely a very careful game. Lords cannot afford to lose this one, so they are playing this very, very tight. But we've got a big movement now towards Epsilon with those lights. They have a Timber in the area too, so they have kind of this left side strong. See if they can go in and cap Epsilon, get it to the 2-2 cap, but slowly the tickets bleed away. Black Spikes continuing to play passively. I don't think this is a bad thing for Black Spikes.
No.
I'm worried that Lords is going to find some new position to really screw them over, but that remains to be seen. I mean, Lords is taking their time. I don't blame them. They have a lot of game left to play. They did get Epsilon. They could easily send somebody off to Kappa if need be. But they're starting. Lords is starting to creep up, and I think work in favor of Black Spikes as well.
And Black Spikes is rotated though.
Here comes some initial fire. Now they got that Timber caught out. I think that might have been what they were looking for, having the opportunity to lay a lot of fire down on that Timber. He is bunny hopping as much as he can just to spread that off. It didn't come away with a kill, but that was a lot of really good initial fire on him, down to 78%. But now they know where Black Spikes is. But it has forced Lords to move slightly. Tickets still in favor of Black Spikes, and they're about to cap Epsilon back now, which will put them at a 3-cap advantage. That's going to get things a little bit more heated on the Conquest part.
Yeah, and surprised that Xander Peach and the Timberwolf got away with that as much as he did. Was able to avoid taking too much damage there, despite having basically all of Black Spikes firing at him.
Black Spikes is shifting right back to the left again. This is intriguing to watch these guys play right now.
I wonder if they are expecting Lords to try and come up and push them, assuming that they're on the right.
They're keeping their heads down, so they're not really visible. All of this movement is under obscurity. They don't have any lights tracking their movements right now, but Looks like Dogmeat in the Oxite might get the first look. Let's see if he gets ganked here. He's got to be really careful.
He tapped Theta, I think, on purpose.
No, Dogmeat is right here.
Dogmeat's on the other side.
Oh, they don't know he's there. Surprise. Oh, but we do have some trades going in now. Black Spike's actually getting aggressive up the left side. They've got them at the range they want them, though, but they got to be careful. They don't want to throw away their advantage by hemorrhaging armor at this point. It would have been nice to be able to keep those...
And Lords has a firing line just set up on this corner. I don't think Black Spike should be pushing this.
No, and Black Spike's definitely took a punishing there in that exchange. They haven't really been putting a lot of damage out in this setup here. Elysium getting pounded, and this is dangerous for Black Spikes. They might throw away their entire effort. Here comes Leon coming in, getting some shots in on the backside. Got another light to respond to him, but you got to be careful too not to accidentally run into that firing line. This could get really bad really quickly for Black Spikes. They need to start putting some of these shots on target. They did get Regulus pretty good, down to 63%. That left shoulder is open. They could potentially crit out one of those PPCs. But first mech down, the Warhammer goes down for Black Spikes. They're at 417 tickets right now. It's not
and they are pushing in on the right side here.
Chimp Raider gets another kill.
Black Widow goes down.
And now Cafe is walking up right behind him in a Kodiak. This is extremely dangerous. They need to be careful because Cafe could cause big pain, and he does.
And he just
Elysium goes down. This is too early to be hemorrhaging mechs like this. They needed more time, and they decided to get into the firefight. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. At the very least, they should get those Jenners out of there to maybe extend the match a little bit, but it's not going to happen. Phoenix Fire is getting ripped apart right now, and that's it for Black Spikes.
Wow.
Lords is going to fan out and flip this over.
But it seemed like they got impatient. It almost looked like Black Spikes was hoping Lords would get impatient and push into them. At the same time, they wound up getting impatient, pushed into Lords when they were all grouped up on that one side and really strung out on that push.
I really think that I felt like Black Spikes had that in a really good place.
Yeah.
I really do. And it's, like you said, it looked like they got a little bit impatient, and either that or they didn't anticipate Lords to be that close. That's the disadvantage you have when you don't have scouts actively seeking out the enemy. Because
I mean, their lights were moving around in the backfield, but
they weren't keeping their eyes on the enemy.
Keeping the eyes on them, yeah.
So that's brutal, because maybe they got surprised by it. They didn't know Dogmeat was right there, but they didn't really get any meaningful hits on him. A little bit to the rear torso, but for the most part, Dogmeat survived getting jumped on, and it was an accidental jump on, but still, you would have anticipated a little bit more coming out of that. And then on top of that, Lords was right there with their firing line. And Lords takes drop 2, which means we're going to go to Canyon Network for this one. Take a look at the damage here. The Kodiak 3, 469 damage out of Initializer. Not bad, but for the most part, they weren't really trading that much. They were playing the cap game. And I liked where that was going. And it would have been... Can you imagine if BSMC held a firing line and forced House of Lords to come around it? That would have been huge. But instead, they got caught in a really nasty place to fight. And I think they were a little bit outnumbered in that firing line, and Lords just took advantage of it. Yeah, they basically
did the opposite. They walked themselves into a firing line.
Exactly. And that's disappointing because BSMC had a really good thing going on. But you know what that means. Drop 3. Let's get the roll going here. So, Lords and BSMC. Let's roll it to see who wants Team 1. Lords will be Team 1 for Canyon Network for Drop 3. This is it. After this drop, someone is going to be eliminated from the regional finals. There's a lot on the line here.
We are continuing where we left off with AP. We had a couple of those 2-1 decisions in Asia Pacific for winner go home situations. Here we go, EU, winner go home in the second elimination match of the tournament.
So, taking a look at the replay here, like I said, I mean, they had the cap advantage. They did a lot of this standoff stuff without... We talk about this all the time, where if you're going to play the cap game, don't hemorrhage armor. You know, if you can trade good, that's great, you know, but eventually the other team's going to have to roll into you. They had weapons that were set up for closer range than I think Lord's was, so they would have the advantage in that regard as well, at least slightly. And so they did exactly what I expected them to do. That was looking great. It was really looking great. And then as you can see here, they go this roll back to the other side. No scouting available. They both went off to Epsilon, had no eyes on target. And they didn't realize, I don't think, that Lords got up close, right outside of Theta. Dog meat, I expect... Oh, God. Seriously, this dog meat maneuver here was 1 second away from being disaster for him. He had his head turned and then just stepped up and probably saw seismic and freaked out. And no, he still didn't even know they were there. And then gets hit. But then this firing line here, nasty. They got a really good setup there, putting shots in. Only 2 mechs at that point, but still, Black Spike's just not trading well into them. And this peak right here, nasty. They've got a great firing line spreading into them, and every time they peek out, you can see multiple mechs firing into each mech that peaks. And it just added up to be a massive firefight victory for Lords. Only 360 tickets, and I'm just like, it's not enough. It's not enough time. You need to be doing this 200 tickets later, not now. They lasted in that firefight for about 200 tickets worth. If they'd started this at 500, they could have pulled it off. And then that cafe heavy movement around the side coming up right up behind them. That's just the nail in the coffin right there. Oof. Black Widow getting shredded down. Probably XL engine. Elysium sees that coming up behind him, but he's already hurt, and Cafe just pulls the trigger once, and that's all she wrote against Elysium. It's probably only about 150 tickets for that firefight, but still. Too soon. It was a good effort, though.
Yeah, well, here we go. Winner go home.
All right.
Or winner doesn't go home. I'm sorry. Loser goes home. That would be interesting. Winner goes home.
Let's see who can intentionally lose
Game
the
chase.
best.
It's been a while, guys.
A
long
pretty
day.
Standard decks on both sides. No real surprises here whatsoever. We do have the Warhammer 6R on the Lord side, but we are in Canyon Network now. Let's go in and take a look. God, we're getting closer to 800 people watching now. Goodness gracious. So 1-1 on the series. Into Canyon Network, a map everybody is extremely familiar with.
So Lords has been aggressive previously on the NA side for Canyon Network. I'm curious to see whether that carries over to the EU side, or whether they're going to continue to play how they have in these regional finals on the EU side, which is more of the range game.
Well, it looks to me like we got a heavy range game for Black Spikes. No doubt about it this time. A lot of PPCs, a lot of Gauss. Lords, however. Cafe bringing DACA. Wooktek bringing Gauss PPC.
And they are moving
AC5s. They're heading over to Bucket Hill.
Here. Yeah.
Yep. They're going to take up their stance a little bit further back. Not quite D4. But they do have a radio tower presence, and we're going to get ourselves into a little bit of a trade war. So Junkyard to Bucket Hill trades. That's quite a distance there. So we really definitely have to keep an eye on the movements coming from Radio Tower. See where Lord sends these mechs.
A Timberwolf, a Hunchback, and both light mechs, although the lights look like they're going to head to Kappa.
So they've pulled out of Bucket Hill now. They're back onto D4, and they actually look like they're kind of moving up. I don't know if they want to bring that DACA to bear at closer range, but we're going to have a little bit of a sneak cap on Epsilon, standing up right on the corner there. Wonder if he has eyes on those mechs or not. Somebody does. So 2 caps to 2, but Theta's going to go in favor of House of Lords. So caps are in favor of Lords. Means Black Spikes is going to have to come up with something here. They did send their lights off to Kappa, so it's going to be on Black Spikes to make a move. Here comes an airstrike coming in. Initializers smartly backing away, dodging the strike. Well played.
Strike a little too far back there. And it looks like Black Spikes is also moving up to Epsilon here. We might have a close-in fight.
Cafe is getting a little bit of hits on him there, but still has a lot of armor left. Here comes another strike. It's an artillery strike on Buria. Looks like he takes a little bit of scratch from that, but Black Spikes is actually shifting to the right, looks like, or at least backing up. They're setting up as if they're going to receive, but I think Lords is pretty comfortable just controlling the map right now. Another big strike coming in. Looks like they came out of it unscathed, moving smartly away from the smoke. So map control in favor of Lords right now. I think Black Spikes has an escape. However, the Sigma corner is very dangerous. If they start moving in that direction, I think Lords is going to get right up on top of them. They really want Cafe. They really, really want Cafe, but he's going to punish anybody who tries.
Holding on his own out there in the Epsilon corner.
He's got a lot of firepower, though.
Back up too far.
If they can get something around behind him, but that requires a little bit more control on the Theta side. In terms of the numbers, I think there's a little bit of a slight lean in favor of Black Spikes, but not much. It's about even right now. Cafe...
Two healthy mechs for Lords, but they're both the light mechs.
If they're able to take this Cafe Kodiak 3 down, he's actually backing up and getting amazing shots in on Initializer right now. That's a huge exchange. Cafe has both shoulders open at this point. He's actually backing up, and he lost one of them. He's down to one shoulder remaining. He is a devastating shooter. If they can take him down, that could be incredibly good for Black Spikes. They have a lot of time left on the clock in terms of the tickets to still do a little bit more of this exchange. Trying to wear them down to the point where maybe they can do a push and get something done.
Cafe is really pinned down here. I don't think he has any options to try and get out with all that damage he has.
He's trying to get angles wherever he can, though, because anytime he peeks to get a shot, he's got teammates behind him backing him up. So he's playing extremely tight on that ramp right now. Let's see if this Hunchback look around the outside with the lights. They're going in. They're going to try and take him out. They want Cafe dead, and they're coming in aggressive.
The longer he stays alive, the better it is.
He does go down.
And the Warhammer goes down. Frack the System also getting killed.
Looks like they're gonna get a little bit of scratch and dog meat, but their lights in there on Wooktek in that Kodiak down to 46%. Center torso wide open. Taking him out would be a huge win for BSMC. They do get him 3 dead for House of Lords, and they are continuing their aggression around the outside. We do have a Kodiak caught out at Theta right now. Elysium is getting jumped on 1v3. He goes down. That's going to even it up a little bit. I'm not sure how the hell he got all alone up there, but that means that's going to open up Initializer in that Gauss PPC. He has lost one of his Gauss rifles, and so he's going to be alone against the Timber and the Lights. So he might go down relatively quick.
Timperator is down in the canyon, and they're about to jump right down on top of him. I'm not even sure he knows there's a Hunchback just dropped down below him.
Initializer has gone down, so both Kodiaks down for both teams. Chimperator actually climbed right back up top. got the Hunchback to drop down, but he goes down. 4 left, 3 left now for Lords. And they are just continuing this push. They've got Leon caught in a 1v2 battle. He gets shredded down. Phoenix Fire getting the killing blow. 1 left, Regulus on
Black Spikes
Theta.
had more close range weapons, I think.
Did they really? I mean, I thought it was pure PPC Goss.
Those Hunchbacks were rolling PPCs and small pulse, I believe. Yeah, those Hunchbacks have small pulse.
And this one's going to go in favor of Black Spikes. I would consider that another upset.
That is an upset.
Wow. Black Spikes takes the series 2-1. House of Lords has been eliminated from the regional finals. Holy cow. What a fight. Taking Cafe out on that front corner really, really, really opened this one up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I really thought he was going to get more support from the team there.
Whew. I mean, as soon as they took him out with that rush, that opened up the charge to just roll him.
Absolutely.
Well played, Black Spikes. They will be surviving.
What a round between those two teams.
490 out of Merida in that Hunchback 2C. 529 out of that Timber. Just great damage across the board from everybody on Black Spikes. Holding Xander Peach sub 100. Cafe right up in front, pulling 381 before going down, but he really was kind of the hinge that they broke him. They broke him, and then they decided to use that momentum to carry them forward.
What a game.
Let me update the bracket here. So Russian CJF dropped. Eon Synergy moves on. Black Spikes moves on. They will be fighting Russian CJF. The winner of that will be facing Eon Synergy in the finals. Take a quick look at the bracket.
Congratulations to House of Lords. A very good season in the EU bracket. Very good season in the NA bracket, too. One of the few teams, House of Lords 228, competing in multiple regions. And did very well. Had some great matches both against RJF and then Black Spikes as well. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite close the deal. But Black Spikes moves on.
So that's a good look at the bracket there. We're going to be seeing the next matchup, RJF versus Black Spikes. Let's see if Black Spikes can carry this momentum coming off of a RJF loss to Eon Synergy. If they can keep that momentum going, maybe they can score themselves another upset. We'll have to watch. But I'm going to do 2 giveaways because I forgot my last giveaway. My bad. My bad. So let's load it up. Oops. Well, I don't want to know who Team 1 is, but who wants a mech pack? Ignore what it says at the top. I'm not going to cancel it. And the winner is Sergeant Hatred. Sergeant Hatred, you are the winner. Congratulations. Send Bandit B17 a message or whisper with the mech pack that you want, as well as your in-game name. And another one. Still too lazy to change that. This is to make up for the one that I didn't do before. Wow, we're over 800 viewers now. Woo! Can we hit 1,000? Let's hit 1,000. Why not? And the winner is Super Fleod. Super Fleod. Congratulations, Super Fleod. Send Bandit P17 a whisper with the mech you would like, as well as your in-game name. Oh, boy. Man, I would love to hear the comms for BSMC during that one. Wouldn't that be just awesome? Especially after scoring the win. Oh, you gotta think that against Lords. Lords is a very solid team, and
Absolutely.
scoring victory against that, no doubt. I don't think anybody would not call that an upset right there. Big win for them. They had to do it twice too. I mean, you got to do it twice. It's not a fluke. They did it twice, coming away with the victory. And to be perfectly honest, I felt like they almost had it in drop 2. Lords, of course,
Yeah, they
fighting
really
it
kind
back.
of gave it away with their positioning. But Lords fought hard in drop 2 and took it to that third round decision. Really fought hard in that third round as well, just couldn't quite hold on.
So getting the crossfire on Cafe was big, because Cafe kind of backed up a bit to take a shot into here, but they were able to trade back, and then he backs away from there and is able to get from a shot from the other side. So they had a little bit of a 90-degree angle on him, and it drove him down into that ramp. But they made the call. Cafe's open. You can see them forming up. Hunchback and 2 lights for the triple charge around the corner. This is for the kill. Light leading the way, and they score it, and that was big. And not only scoring that one, but that kill in the backfield, a trade kill on that Warhammer 6R was just a bonus to keep things rolling. Wook Tech very hurt on the backside with those Gauss cannons. Must have gotten crit out. He goes down as well. Black Spike's carrying the momentum. Well, that's going on. I don't know what happened with Elysium pushing up through Theta, but he got jumped on, stayed alive for a little bit, and then he had another Kodiak in the backfield operating for a little bit, but they both went down. Kind of swung it a little bit more back in favor of Lords, but they still were down 1 mech in addition. And then Black Spikes just kept rolling, got that Hunchback down, the Timber, and then just kept that momentum going. They never let go.
And like I said, I think those small pulse lasers on the PPC Hunchbacks really was part of the difference there. When they closed in, you had Lords trying to counter with PPCs and Gauss, and basically Black Spikes switching straight to small pulse lasers in that range, just ripping them apart.
Well played, Black Spikes. Well done. All right.
Just waiting on getting the teams in lobby here, and we will have the next elimination match.
So I'm going to throw the bracket up on the screen here for a second, take a super quick bio while we got the teams in, but we've got RJF versus Black Spikes coming up right after this. Stick around.